we understand that. I'm just saying that there's a little bit of familiarity between this, right? I mean, you've been casting a lot of the games in terms of the BSE, and he does make a lot of plays.
Yeah, I'm just practicing, guys. Right? I'm sorry if I disturbed your sleep, but in any case, the draft has been completed, and I'm so excited, right? BSE and Twisted Minds, #1, what is their final composition, and how will this game go?
Yeah, actually, we're gonna have to find out, like, together on this one. I mean, it looks like the players are ready to go, but the Menki picked up as well as the Haino for Twisted Minds. Your thoughts on these two picks to round out the Twisted Minds mod?
I like the Haino pick because #1, it allows you to save towers. Okay, I experienced this so many times in the ranked games. Guys, as a Haino, your ultimate can revive towers back to the health bar it was at if it's within 5 seconds. So please, 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 use your ultimate when your turrets are taken.
Yes, and look, when you have that Menki up front who's going to be very tanky to kind of, you know, just to slow the pace of the game down or to initiate when you need to, it's going to be great for that.
Strategies are done. Execution starts now. Ladies and gentlemen, we are ready for game #1. Casters, guides us through.
Thank you so much, Isaac. As we get into this one, of course, everything is at stake. This is an elimination game. I mean, two games, and you might be out of the KWC.
Exactly, and now you start to see why Highlang has this Haino in the mid. Very good wave clear, especially if you get your Scepters or Fate. That first skill thrown onto a hero, it's tracking. It will hit you if you're within range.
Yeah, and if you're looking at the kind of the draft at BSE here, yes, they have a decent amount of damage, but it's more, if they were kind of like looking into like a more of like a slow, sustaining type of offense. And if you've got the Haino, you're kind of like, actually, they don't really have the burst to deal with me, and I can kind of Fate rewind through all of this.
Exactly, and damage over time is one of his big strengths, but 90 here suffering a bit against Xiang.
Yeah, taking a decent amount. He's trying to out-heal this one, and Xiang kind of trading blows a little bit, but a little bit of a lane swap. Talk me through that one.
Okay, so the lane swap here, they want to prioritize that space sprite on the top because that's an important resource. It gives you extra EXP, it gives you extra gold as well, and it helps you with your rotation. As an early, you want to get as much farm as possible.
Yeah, it looks like the Bitter Farewell right onto Shanks. He's going to actually Heartlink back to safety. Musang King is joined as well, but again, it's a 3 for 3, but again, it's not really going to happen.
Yep, so both teams actually matching this pace. I like the fact that both teams expected this rotation and have actually changed the farm lane into the position of clash.
Yeah, and this is a huge rotation. I mean, 4 on 4 in the top lane. Nobody wants any of that action in the mid lane, but BSE are like, hey guys, let's slow down, let's distribute. We're going to give up the sprite for now.
Yep, timing is very important here, right? Clean secures that space sprite for the team. He's going to try and funnel some farm, extra farm and EXP in the mid lane as well.
Yeah, and look at Nighty and Xiang, just like, again, just trying to steal what they can in the bottom lane. But, like, look, if you're going to give anybody an edge, who are you giving to in this clash lane?
For the side of, I think I would give it to Xiang. I think Dharma really makes a big difference in team fights, and inevitably you will get a grouped up Twisted Minds.
Yeah, I think you're going to have a much better time. I mean, Dharma, there's a reason why all of the teams want him, right? On the team, there's just so much impact that they can go. Plus, it forces the enemy team to not be so grouped up, and they got to space themselves out properly.
Very much so. And I'm just curious about the growth of J.R. We've already seen teams like Nongshim pick up this Flowborn tank. Hang on.
Oh, the Ruinjin engine Zeong, though, he finds Hailong, does a little bit of damage. Hailong has his ult if he wanted to go, but in the end, Zeong will make a little bit of a rotation, but nothing was too much of ask.
All right, if you're confused over what happened for Hailong, Haino, if he actually pushes himself within range when using the second skill of enemy heroes, he actually turns into melee form, allowing him to sustain and heal up.
Yeah, the Furball is going to be used, the Unending Sorrow, just to use and neutralize most of that. And again, these teams, they've done a lot of research on one another. Top 2 teams, did they expect themselves to be here in the lower brackets? Probably not, but this is a situation where, hey, that Group C was literally the group of death. You got to prepare for everybody.
Exactly. Anything can happen, and it looks like they might get caught out, though.
Oh, this is a great flanking attempt or approach. The positioning has been great, but who are they going to look to go? They find the Shanks. They get him with a Burial Farewell. He dashes over, and they do get first blood. Ji-Hong makes him pay. What a nice play by BSE, making them pay.
A beautiful start. And they give it to Ji-Hong as well, and this is going to benefit him greatly in the mid lane.
It's going to be absolutely huge for them. And Twisted Minds, it was one of those things where you got to check your brushes. I mean, to get all the way around and to just like for them to sit around when Jihong has been off the map, a little bit of a misplay there.
So right now, BSC, they just need to capitalize on this lead. Maybe feed Zhihong a little bit more. As a Mai, you want to have that level and gold advantage as well.
Yeah, look, I know that they're trying to like feed farm in, but Jihong, you're gonna have to get whatever farm you can. You can be aggressive. It looks like they've gotten the fur ball, they've got the pullback, the Fate Rewind, neutralizing all of that.
Yep, this is the strength on this side of the Haino, but 4 minutes, we are at this marker.
I mean, but you don't have the ult at this point. The Tyrant is at about half. BSC slowly backing off. The Tyrant is still continuing on, hasn't been tethered back, and the steal away. Clean takes that one out. Highline dashes back to safety. BSC will disengage.
But that's the strength of Haino. The longer the fight goes, as long as they're able to hold them off, Haino does extra damage. The more hits he gets on you with his first skill, that Scepter of Fate, the more painful it becomes.
Yeah, and also the fact that Highline actually used his Purify as well, something to take note of. Jihong finding them. He's actually going ham. Finds Highline in a bad spot. No ult, and he goes down as well.
This is why you need to recognize the timing of cooldowns here. And BSC, they knew that information. They dove on him with no care.
I mean, no ult, no Purify. Highline, you got to be sticking around that tower. They made him pay. Now, Xiang here being aggressive. That mid T1 potentially under siege, and Nighty's there as well. But again, they'll just deal with the minions, and they will survive again.
Yes, and it's a numbers advantage, right? BSC, I think this game very clear-cut about, hey, we need to have an advantage at every single angle. So they put 5 members in mid to clear that wave, get a little bit more pressure in, and now Twisted Minds, they don't have any information on BSC.
Yeah, no information. This gold lead has gone about 600 gold, not the worst thing in the world. But the fact that they haven't still found their first kill, I mean, Twisted Minds is still finding ways to farm.
So we were talking earlier about, hey, Musang King, he needs to get his skills up. Musang King on this Agudo is actually one of the fastest junglers in the game.
Yeah, one of the fastest junglers, just like overall one of the best junglers in the game. Let's be honest here. I mean, he's very good as well as clean. This is the matchup to watch, but now JR and Nighty skirmishing in the top.
Yep, it's really just to pull attention here. And I like the fact that Twisted Minds, they say, hey, we need to get an advantage somewhere. Let's swap, give Nighty a little bit of deterrence against BSC on the top lane, provide some room for Shanks to farm.
Yeah, Musang King under the tower. He'll use the Wild Growth to cover his retreat. He will stay back. Mind you, Highline, a little bit, he's about half-life. I mean, he could potentially bait things out, but he's going to be annoying to deal with in that mid lane.
Look, BSC don't care about killing them right now. It's really just about playing the map. This is one of the strengths of BSC as well. They know exactly when and what to do.
Yeah, but tower for tower, top T1 from Twisted Minds down, the bottom T1 from BSE down. They're trading blows. We expected heavy hitters, and we're seeing this back and forth.
Yes, and this game will be decided by the farm laners here. We've already seen the performance. Highline gets caught.
Yeah, gets caught out by that furball. He's going to Fate Rewind. Musang King at about half-life as well. He will be backing off. But now BSE, this is a situation where, again, do they want to prolong this? Do they want to slow down the early game?
I think they could afford to because they have a decent lead at this point in terms of like map control. But Clean, once again, he secures the other objective. So there's 2 big neutral objectives for the side of Twisted Minds. So it's not too bad for them.
Yeah, not too bad at all. He did it without the smite as well, which might have been risky. But I mean, hey, if you know you got it, you ensure that BSC are not there, they're going to easily take that one away.
I think it's really hard for them to challenge in this Azure Golem, but Nighty chooses to push Zhihong as well as Xiang behind.
Yeah, you want to put a little bit of pressure, and now you're looking to invade here. Clean gets that smite, and again, this is the value add. He didn't use that on the Overlord, he used it there, and he gets the steal.
So this achieves 2 things. Number 1, you steal away the Azure Golem, but more importantly, now you have the timing of that buff, which means Twisted Minds can start to plan what they want to do at the appropriate time.
Yeah, dictate the pace here. But okay, something that we've kind of, we haven't talked too much about, and that's been the farm laners. Arlie, we knew it was going to be the first pick, but it looks like BSE picked up the Flowborn Marksman, which got its first win yesterday. Walk me through this one.
Okay, so JR on this Flowborn Marksman, he has been farming pretty fast, and in fact, in MKL, he's one of the fastest farmers in the farm lane as well. He already has his Shadow Reaper along with the Doomsday. This is going to increase his attack speed, but also deal percentage health base damage.
I mean, it's going to be huge. Look at the side of Twisted Minds. I mean, you have the Fatigue, you have the Menki, you have the Hino. These are guys that are generally beefier boys, and you need a way to kind of chunk through that.
Yes, and this is going to be a very important job for JR because he will be responsible for forcing early ultimates from Highland if he uses his first skill well.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a lot on him to ensure that he gets that. And that's, of course, the convergence, the knockback. And it looks like the Tyrant is going to be picked up by BSC. But Twisted Minds are like, hey, we're going to trade away the Tyrants. We're not going to contest. We're going to look to push the top, and they take the top T2.
It's actually not a good trade for the side of BSC. But if they get caught out here, it could be big.
Yeah, this could be big. Clean still up in front. Jihong dashing away, just getting to safety. BSC understanding that the approach is going to happen, and it looks like they will hold.
Okay, so why is it a bad trade? Number one, right, Twisted Minds know about the timing of the Azure buff. They also just took the Crimson Golem away, which means now they have access and knowledge of the timings of both the buffs. They take the T2, and all they traded was just a basic Tyrant, not the Shadow variant at all.
Yeah, I mean, look, understanding and having timers on the enemy jungle is actually key, because you know when it's about to spawn, so teams can kind of be like, you know, clear out the mid wave and then make their way to the buff to potentially steal it. It's a very strategic play.
So if you understand what Twist is doing here, they're actually buying time so that they get the push on the bottom lane, and at the other time, they're burning off that timer of the Tyrant buff as well. So they're putting themselves in a good position.
Yeah, putting themselves in a good position, and look, they don't have a single kill, but they're playing objective-based gaming, incredibly smart. They know they don't need to group up. They know where the outer lanes are pushing and ensuring that, hey, if we just create a little bit of, you know, a bait, they're going to stick around and they're going to let some other lanes really take some damage.
And this mid T1, like we mentioned before, is a very important resource. We need it for the vision, and it's going to be very hard for BSE to get that T1 in the mid.
Yeah, the Destined Encounter is going to be expended here. Twisted Minds, again, slow sieging. They're going to look to play the late game in this one. Highline taking a lot of damage of that Arrow Storm, though, so he does need to be careful here.
They have to be very careful about taking fights here. It might cost them on the side of Twisted Minds.
Fate Rewind instantly used. Highline, that's a huge ult that's been used. Tyrant hasn't even been taken. It's about half-life. Clean realizes the danger that he's in. He will give that one up.
Oh, that's a lot of damage from JR. This is really surprising, but Highline is actually 2 levels behind. That explains the damage difference.
Yeah, it looks like the Tyrant eventually going back into his lair. He will heal right back up on this one, and he's tethered back in. BSE, though, understanding that, hey, we could go for a potential steal. Musan King might want to roll in. Does he go for the steal? No, he's not going to risk it.
Yeah, he can't. Because Highline, his positioning is very clean. The reason why he's standing so close towards the Azure Golem pit is because he wants to land those scepters. And if you are caught, he will poke you down.
Yeah, you could have a good time. And look at BSC, all 5 of them congregating around, ensuring that Clean does not get that steal. Didn't have the smite, but they lose the mid T1 for that buff.
Okay, so there is a silver lining. JR now at the top of the gold chart, 8,000 gold. He is way ahead of Shanks.
Yeah, doing a great job, right? And that's kind of what you want on that Flowborn, just to ensure that he gets that damage. I mean, a lot of it has been kind of funneled into him. I mean, he's got 8,500 gold, the tops on his team. But if you're looking at the other side, look at Nighty and Clean, man.
It's not actually that good. I mean, okay, yes, they have the jungle gold advantage, but I think the farm lane gold advantage matters much more because Flowborn tank has an insane amount of damage.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he's going to do a lot, and that's the biggest thing. You got to be able to chunk through. Clean is going to be a little uncomfortable, especially gets focused fire with that Arrow Storm. So the potential for damage is there, but Clean, again, doesn't want to initiate, just wants to push him back.
They can't really go full on because Dian is going to be able to save the day with his ultimate and that hard link, the first skill, latching on to his teammates, giving them the heal values as well.
Yeah, and look at, again, BSE, they want a death ball. They want Twisted Minds to kind of contest going in and let JR do that damage from afar, and Twisted Minds not falling for any of this bait.
In fact, Twisted Minds is doing a very good job. Do you see what they're doing? They're holding BSE in the jungle area. They can't push the waves. And right now, both their side lanes are just in a slight advantage to Twisted Minds.
Yeah, but it's like, but it won't really push. I mean, you're not going to have that T3 down, like the super minions with that extra push. It's going to be initially there. Oh, here's the Dream Room. Nice connection, and they find G.A.L. and JR flashing back. He's going to try to take it on the CT boy, but now they want to go. Siang is very low. JR gets picked off. Nighty finds him, and Siang is down for the count. 4 members down from BSE.
A big fight for the side of Twisted Minds. This is why it is so hard to win, and 1v1.
Oh, Shanks, he's trying to take down Musan King, and he does. Shanks with the outplay, and it's a team ace, and just like that, Twisted Minds taking it to them.
They have 10 seconds before Zhihong comes out, but he's a one-man defense against a 5-member strong Twisted Minds. T3s under pressure.
I mean, look at this. Not a single ult was suspended from Twisted Minds. They're going to take 2 T3s. Yes, Jihong is up, but I don't know if you can hold this, especially since the other timers. JR is going to be up, but they're going to look to potentially go for this crystal. They're focusing it down, and just like that, Twisted Minds take game 1.
In a flash, this one. Twisted Minds, my goodness, what a calculated play throughout the entire game. And BSC, look, they had a decent performance. They were in control for a good portion of the first half of the game.
It wasn't about kills. Let's be very honest. It was objective-based gaming. Twisted Minds are like, actually, not the end of the world. We're still out farming them. We're able to out-sustain. We're able to play the game that we want. I mean, look, this was a great game by Twisted Minds.
It was. And in fact, take a look at this. This first mistake, blunder, by the side of Twisted Minds, they never allowed that situation to happen again. And more importantly, even though they gave that first blood over to Zhihong, they made sure that he had no room for growth. And look, this wrap around was so big. The moment Zhihong is down, you have one lesser control. And Xiang actually uses ultimate. I mean, this is the strength of the draft. You can't catch everyone on the side of Twisted Minds.
And this is kind of why I'm not a huge fan of the Mai, because you have to be, like if you're like a traditional caster mid, you want to stay away, right? Use your utility, you get your stuns, but the Mai, you want to be up front and you want to be aggressive. And sometimes you're at risk, and he got picked off, and that just like the whole world just crumbled.
Exactly, and the Menki, this one, Clean was doing a very good job. He made sure he was always in the face of Mai, right? So Zhihong really couldn't have any options. He had to hit him, and there was no way getting past that Dream Roam.
Yeah, no chance at that point. And when he did hit that Dream Roam, it was a 2-man stun, and then it just clean up on aisle 3. It was like so quick and how they just like killed everybody.
And this Fatih, I love the flank, because without that Fatih flank, it wouldn't have been a wrap. I think JR would have been able to escape. And JR actually, in that match, was a very scary farmer. He had the items. He was 1k ahead of his counterpart.
I mean, he was able to do the damage, but there was no space, right? Once they jump on you, then you're running for your life. You're looking for your own survival more than anything else.
I know it sounds basic, but as a farm laner, when people get close to you, that's where things start to get difficult. And Flowborn Marksman, he thrives in a set distance. The moment you close that gap, he's done for.
Yeah, he's done for. I mean, a lot of farm laners are, let's be honest. I mean, Arlie obviously has mobility. You have Rolling Raid from Lady Soon. You have other options, right? But Flowborn kind of static. You have to play that positioning game very well and understanding that you keep them at arm's reach.
That is why they picked the Fatih, because he's one of those heroes that can close the gap really fast with his first skill. There are 3 charges for it, and the final charge actually slams the floor, knocks them up. And as a Flowborn Marksman, or any marksman in that case, you don't have a good time.
Yeah, don't have a good time at all. And I mean, all of the lineup from Twisted Minds is kind of like, I just want to get in your face. I want to be aggressive. And they're able to do that. It's a very well synergized draft.
Okay, so take a look at the damage taken by Clean and Hailang, right? The Hano and the Menki. This is a very important marker. The reason why Hailang keeps using his ultimate so early is because if you are caught in the range of his ultimate, he actually gets his passive stack onto you, allowing him to throw scepters that are tracking you down.
Yeah, I mean, he was really, he only died a single time. I mean, played it very well. Everybody was so clean. The fact that they only died twice. BSC, yes, you only died 5 times, but that was the teammates, and they just closed the game out.
Exactly, one good play. So it really doesn't matter how the game starts. It's really, can you find those moments in the game where this is our win condition? We caught them off guard.
Strategic play. I mean, it's just objective-based gaming. So smart by Twisted Minds. Understanding how to keep them away, not panicking. Understanding that, hey, again, we're losing a little bit in the early game, but we're able to catch up because we're able to outplay them.
Boys, I'm just gonna jump in. It's just so interesting to watch you guys talk about the game because you guys love this so much. You can feel the energy, completely energized out of that game between Twisted Minds and BSE, that you just kept going and kept going and kept going. And I'm just over here just kind of looking at them just like, that's love for the game for sure. And Love for the Game has our MVP of this game. It's gonna be 90. Amazing performance comes in the decisive fight.
Yeah, and again, you were talking about the dashes and all that. Yeah. And just the speed and the ability to get on. But his damage dealt also quite high. He was constantly doing that damage and has his own sustain as well.
He was kind of like the fishing hook, right? The moment he caught the bait, that's it, you're done. Because he activates his ulti, it increases the amount of attack speed and the damage output as well. So this 21.2% makes a lot of sense, even though he only got 2 kills in the entire game. Those 2 kills were important markers because he was on the back lines.
They only got 5 kills in total, right? Yeah. So, I mean, taking two of them is quite high, and especially off of that team ace. That one opportunity, that one team fight to just win the game. Again, just Twisted Mind's playing very well here.
Okay, so we like to celebrate the winners, but we also have to take a look at the learners in this game. So learners in this game, BSE, I'm not sure what's going to happen in game number 2.
You know what? It is just too much stress right now. It's just the stakes are so high that everyone is just really on their nerves. What about if we just calm down and chill for a little bit? We look at the players as well. Do we want to understand the humans behind the athletes? And the humans behind the athletes, they love to play, they love to communicate. Let's take a look.
Welcome to the 4-player chain charades minigame. The first player is given the answer and has to act it out to the second player. The second player then draws what he thinks is the answer, and it will be shown to the third player. The third player then acts it out one last time to the last player. This last player will then guess the answer. Let the charades begin.
Ultimate. Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
This one,
Yeah, easy. Yeah. Ali. But they love it, so makes me. This.
Lupang.
Wait. Hey. What again? What again? What again? What again?
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, I think Ali 啦。
哇，这个一闪跟流放有什么关系？
因为他踩到这边，然后他变回去。
大哥，我往上看，你知道，然后床飞过去，然后跟雨伞有什么关系？我知道，
因为伞在天上啊，然后他给我站在这边，然后给我踩回去。Yeah, it's an umbrella. Yeah, umbrella.
I also think it's umbrella.
我看你看电视上。
我没画，大哥。OK。
Communication is going to be vital if you want to be really good at this game. As you just saw right over there with the players, sometimes communication can be a little bit defective. But you know what? Communication was the right key for Twisted Minds to be able to win this. And I would love everyone at home to be able to have my job, because my job is amazing. And you know what? We can watch him here on the screen. I can hear the players. And one of the things that Twisted Minds was saying all the time was just stall, stall, stall. Do not jump in. Do not jump in. They knew the early game was not for them. And what was the decision? Just to kind of like just push the game a little bit later.
Yeah, very smart play. I mean, this is exactly what you wanted, especially with that draft. But this is the one that we saw, Twisted Minds. I mean, for Team Menki, I love that forefront, that the amount of beef that you have, the tankiness, and the sustainability that they provide.
Yeah, and I mean, okay, it is quite a few meta picks here because they took out the Fatih, they took out the Arlie as well. Now, these are big picks. Likewise for BSC, it is a big pick in the Flowborn Marksman and the Mai Hagudo, and actually, you know what? The entire lineup is pretty meta.
Yeah, everyone on that one. And that's kind of what you want in terms of a best of 3. You want to put, again, your best foot forward. It's not such a big deal. Yes, the global ban can affect you, and you don't have access to these picks moving forward in games potentially 2 and 3. But this is a situation where you're like, okay, we're still going to go with meta picks because we want to win.
Okay, so let's take a look at the history of BSC. I mean, yes, in KWC, they have gone out against Nova twice, and it has been a clean 2-0 so far. And I'm very worried for BSE that, look, they might suffer some PTSD from those games, and confidence and synergy might be an issue here.
You might think that just while losing the first game, it's going to be hard for them to just jump back.
Exactly. I think at this stage of the game, look, there's too many things to consider. And as a player, the amount of stress you feel and the amount of tension you feel, sometimes it gets overwhelming. So BSC BSC,
yeah,
they need
true.
to recover well.
Yeah, this is one where it comes back to the coaching, right? I mean, this is a championship caliber team. They've lost their games. I mean, they've learned their lessons, but unfortunately for them, they haven't really been able to find their footing in this KWC. Yes, they got 0-2 against Nova Esports, but it was one of those things where the games were close, but it was just like a simple team fight like we just saw here, and they just got wiped out.
I think it's fair to say literally it's just one mistake. That mistake was a costly one. And I mean, it's inevitable you will make mistakes in this game. It's really about, can you calm yourself down and find those winning moments? That's where the restraint comes in, which Twisted Minds was doing very well at.
When mistakes are this high, one little mistake could just be the difference between winning and losing. Because the difference between the two of them, these two teams, the difference between them in terms of level, minimal.
Yeah, minimal. I mean, the level of parity. I mean, everybody's leveled up in this KWC. Everyone has gotten better. How many games and series have we seen thus far across 5 days now have been fire?
All. It has to be all. I mean, my expectation coming to KWC this year was that there were going to be some storms, but let's be honest, there wasn't a lot of storms, if there were any at all. And right now, game number 2, BSC, they're going to put trust in the lone pick.
Yeah, I mean, look, this is still the old tried and true, one of the best farm laners. I think you're going to have a great time. It adds quite a bit. Let JR kind of flex on this hero. His potential for outplay will always be there. But now, like, if you're looking at the Twisted Mind side, you look at the Lung and you realize that it's strong, but there's really not a great counter pick. It's more about everyone else playing together.
Yes, and Twisted Minds, they take away the combination. It would have been perfect for the side of BSE if you could get the Zhang Fei. Because not only is Lung very survivable in lane, he plays a huge burst damage game. With the shield of Zhang Fei, it would have been perfect for him, but Twisted Minds, they're looking for that big burst potential in the form of the golden token. Gen.G's ultimate, once again, the golden token, lowers your defenses physical and magical by 25% if it lands.
And look at this, Black Shrew Esports getting Musan King on his own king in the sense of the Ogren, a very strong pick for this team, something that they've really flexed upon. This is something that we've seen from time and time again. Black Shrew Esports really like the Ogren here.
Okay, I like it a lot, but throughout the entire pro leagues, we have seen some answers, and one answer that Hailang himself can provide is the Shangguan. We have not seen him play it since last year, but it will be a big answer. So they're going to start first with the standard answer, Agudo, very good at melting down Ogren as well.
Yeah, I think it's the traditional counter pick, creating a little bit of a difficult area for the Ogren to kind of run in and out, so to speak. And then plus you have the other stuns. You have that way. But again, you need to figure out some sort of damage potential to potentially kill this guy late game.
That's true if you get to the late game. But for now, my main concern for the start of BSC is Twisted Minds has quite a bit of decent control. Once we hit level 4, Agudo is able to throw that furball. Zhang Fei has that ultimate, the Unbridled Outburst, where he turns into a beast, knocks everyone back. And he has multiple stuns to follow up with that. And Gen.G is a problem. He has a stun as well.
Yeah, and if you're looking at the Twisted Mind side, stick to the strategy of just having this death ball, right? The Agudo, the Zhang Fei waiting in the wings to see if anyone wants to jump him. Then you have Gen.G just shooting from afar. This is the one where they're going to be looking to stick together as much as possible. Black Shrew Esports, do they go? I mean, you have Fatih, which is kind of split push on his own, and he can kind of create that space, but you need to figure out a way to kind of mitigate what Twisted Minds are bringing.
I actually think, you know what, Yixing will work perfectly for this side of BSC. They need the box. They need to keep them together because it's really quite hard to catch an Agudo and a Gen.G because Gen.G's second skill actually allows him to cleanse himself of any crowd control for that moment. And it could be a moment where BSC overcommits.
Yeah, having that would be quite huge. It just being, again, like, this is why Gen.G is good. He doesn't really have the mobility, but he has ways to kind of cleanse things. But they're going to go with the Gan and Mo again. If they go with this death ball and they have Gan and Mo in the back, just like, artillerying the front line, they're going to have a good time. So, again, this strategy, very obvious as of what they want to do.
Very clear, right? We've already seen players like Tatsuri who have piloted this Gan and Mo to absolute perfection. And this is the problem for BSC here. In order to be able to take control of this game, they cannot lose the farm. They cannot give that advantage over the Twisted Minds because once you don't have the items to fight, you will not be able to touch this Gan and Mo.
Yeah, you're going to have a tough time. I mean, how do you get on him? I mean, Ogren obviously is going to be very predictable, but Da.Chiao and the Yuhan to round out this BSE draft. Your thoughts here?
Interesting. Okay, so I think BSE, they want to lower the risk of aggression, which means when they go in, they want to have an escape mechanism. And if this is your first time seeing Da.Chiao, don't worry, let me break it down for you. Da.Chiao has her Sea of Fate. That's going to be a second skill. It will create a portal on the floor, which will send you back home if you step into it. Guys, please remember, it's a circle on the floor. Do not miss it.
Yeah, and this is another reason. I mean, look, if Twisted Minds wants the Death Ball, Da.Chiao will allow you to kind of use that Sea of Fate to kind of get on out. So you can split push. You can play a little bit more risky because you have that teleportation, so to speak.
Not only that, she also adds on to your aggression because her ultimate, the Eye of the Whirlpool, is allowing you to summon a portal of which your 4 other members will be able to TP to that location for free.
Yeah, not only that, not to be outclassed, you also add sex appeal to this group.
Okay, it's like this family group ABBA.
Yeah. So they're going to be going in. It looks like the draft, we know what's going to happen. We know, well, we don't know what's going to happen, but we know the draft. Who are you giving the edge to, Kin?
I actually prefer the Twisted Minds draft, but if BSE plays their cards right, we could go Mamma Mia.
We're going to have to find if we go that far, but this is going to be an interesting one. I mean, look, I like the BSE lineup. Whenever you see Ogren on, Musang King on the Ogren, you're going to have a good time.
Yes, and I really like it a lot because there is a lot of saving capabilities. Now, Zhihong playing this Yuan in the mid probably will go for that magic build. Thanks, right? It's a big helper, gives you extra heals, and also helps you damage the lineup of Twisted Minds. But this Byron pick, I have a big concern here. Byron is actually one of the strongest Clash laners available.
Yeah, strong. And the way that they were able to pick it last, I mean, it was still open. It just seems like it was like a no-brainer.
Boys, it's time. The Gorge is ready. Holler, Kin, take it from here. Let the battle begin.
Thank you so much, Isaac. As we go into Game 2, everything on the line right now for BSE. They must win this or they are out of the KWC.
Yep, that's a plane ticket that Twisted Minds want to send over. Now, right now, Dian is going to have a very important role here. He needs to check those brushes. He needs to help clear the lanes faster on the side of BSE.
Yeah, and it's also about providing space. Which buff was taken up? It looks like they're going to look to invade here, making things a little uncomfortable for Clean, especially at the beginning of this game.
Smart. This is exactly the BSE that we recognize. And Musang King, he will make this life difficult for the side of Twisted Minds.
I mean, Nighty's going to have to join up. They need to support this. They need to protect it, but Clean will smite that for good measure. Now it's a little bit of a waste, but the Sea of Fate, you were talking about the risk that they can do, and they do get out.
There we go. That is why you pick up the Da.Chiao. She is able to get you out of jail for free. But of course, it's not that simple because you have to manage the timing.
Yeah, you have to manage the timing. But look, that was a big commitment by BSE as well. I mean, they were trying to go for the invade. It was not successful. Yes, nobody died, but they're still losing a little bit of time.
Yes, it is. 90 now going to try and focus on putting pressure here, but Dian is here to support.
Yeah, that Storm Strike onto him, and Dion shows up, and Nighty's like, all right, I'm going to respect you a little bit. You got too many numbers for me.
There we go. Once again, that is the Sea of Fate for this skin. You will be able to be sent back home, but it takes a bit of time before it starts being operated.
Yeah, and here we go. It looks like CT Boy will join. A little bit of a tryst in the top lane here. They find Nighty, who's trying to dash away. He actually has to use the flash to get back.
Okay, this is an important point to note for BSE. So now they can actually force out mistakes from Nighty if he overcommits on his position.
Yeah, and look, it looks like Musang King wants to teleport. He does get out. He was not affected when he was going through that one. But look at this. Hailang continuing on with that, those couple blades. Really annoying for Zhihong to deal with.
Exactly, because it might force you to use your ultimate early. And Zhihong also burnt his flash here. So I think for now, Hailang doing very well in lane.
Yeah, that's all you really can ask for him, right? Just staying alive, wave clearing, making sure that you're getting as much farm as possible. But at some point, those blades are going to hit like a truck.
And you do not want to be hit by that if you are JR. There is a very high potential for Hailang to get those surprise snipes, and JR will be out of the game.
Yeah. I mean, it would help if somebody else was able to get the stun potentially on, but this is why JR's positioning needs to be, very key.
And also, Dian. But for now.
A little bit of damage onto CT Boy, who eats a flaming palm. He's at half-life, not the end of the world. He's still pretty tanky.
Okay, so let's talk a bit about Yen, right? His role here is very simple. He's supposed to go and check the crushers, give information, so they don't take that huge risk of, number one, getting sniped out by Hailang, or in the worst case scenario, taking a bad team fight for BSC.
Yeah, it's got to be key, right? And ensuring that if they're going to go for this one, at least, you know, Dion is nearby to potentially save if they need to. There's a lot of moving pieces, but when they like play well and everybody's in sync with one another, they could have a really good time.
Okay, so let's help you with your map awareness. Let's go through the different portions of the map as well. Clash lane, this 1v1 between 90 and Xiang is actually dependent on the passive of 90 and skill 1 on the side of Xiang.
Yeah, and look at that one. I think the teleport was actually canceled in the top lane by 90, not letting anyone get out of this one. And pressure on this bottom T1. This is going to be very uncomfortable for BSC, who has to use the infinite fastness now just to stay alive.
This could be an opening for Hailang, but he will not be in range. JR actually takes the dragon form and flies behind.
Yeah, they're still sticking around. Shanks chipping away at it. You got the minions. You might as well do as much damage as possible here.
Yes, 4-minute mark. This is an important timer for both teams.
The teleport in the mid lane. Xiang will be looking to join. With this 4-minute timer, they do not want to give it up like they did in the last game against Twisted Minds.
Yes, so they need to watch the positioning, but right now, Green is looking for an opening. He can drop furball down anytime.
Yeah, and the Wild Growth right on top. The Tyrant is there. He's doing a little bit of AoE damage, but JR sticking almost on the clean, but he's a tanky boy.
Okay, Musang King.
Musang King. Hailang gets the steal. Those blades just way too much at this stage. Xiong on the way out to the bottom lane. They've taken what they've wanted.
They want to force this mid lane. Look at the shouting coming out from the players as well. BSC, can they defend this? That turret protection is no longer available.
No longer available, but taking that Tyrant was huge for Twisted Minds, especially early. It really helps accelerate the team, and turning that buff into the mid T1, huge for Twisted Minds early.
Yep, that's a big advantage on their side. Look, it's not the biggest of gold leads, but map control will assist you in garnering gold for your team. Dianya here forced to go back. He doesn't have enough mana.
Yeah, doesn't have enough. I mean, it's not the end of the world. Yeah, he's got to do the walk of shame back in the lane, but JR is getting that space and farming. He's kind of keeping on pace with Shanks.
I mean, JR has really impressed with his farming ability, right? He has been one of the most consistent farm laners in the game.
Yeah, well, definitely one of the best. And looks like Hailang, I think, actually got that steal.
Yeah,
he's got the blue.
That is a big detriment to the side of BSC. Right now, this means Hailang, number one, he has mana regeneration, and the cooldown reduction, he's able to throw even more blades than the usual status quo.
And taking anything away from Musang King is just a huge kick in the face kind of thing. It's super uncomfortable. You don't want that. And you want to let Musang King get his farm, but he's actually falling a little bit behind Clean here.
Okay, it's not the biggest difference for now. Look, and the only difference that is being made is Twist is not giving them a fair long fight. They want to have that long range fight.
Yeah, I mean, they want that, but Twisted Mind's not giving anything right now, and slow sieging. This is the power of the Agudo. How are you supposed to farm on this Ogren when you're all the space, all the towers are being taken away from you?
Yep, and they'll happily trade that T1 on the top.
Yeah, taking that one out. But look at Xiang looking to create that space. They're going to go in. First blood is going to be given. CT Boy takes that one out. Finds Xiong in a bad spot. They're going to take the mid T2 as well.
And the restraint is so good coming in from the side of Twisted Minds. They didn't want to aggress more. They just wanted to take the T2. So right now, the bottom side of the map, completely dark for the side of BSC.
Completely dark, tough. And this is where BSC are like, oh, now we're struggling. How are we going to get that farm from Musang King? They're looking for scraps. They're not finding anything in the bottom line.
Yep, and I need to make a comparison here. Zhihong is level 8, Hailang is level 9. One of the traits of the Gun and Mo, look, he can solo take neutral objectives, that's number one. Number two, even when a Gun and Mo is behind on levels, he can actually out-damage his counterparts.
Yeah, and I mean, it's all about that right at this point. But Twisted Minds potentially going for the flank. The steal for Musang King, he does steal that one. He smites it, but now Musang King in a bad spot. They have to see a fate if they want to go. But at Musang King already at half, they're going to be looking to go onto this one. Musang King, he should get on out of this.
Flash by JR.
Yo, JR in a bad spot. The infinite fastness. They find Hailang. They got that pick off. Xiang making him pay. Finding the back line, and Musang King back in with that whirlpool. And just like that, this turn of the tides have turned.
Okay, it's a small win for the side of BSC. They did manage to force Clean to use his Blood Rage because once again, if you're playing Ogrin, you can actually instant execute someone based on if they're less than 10% of their total health.
Yeah, and it's all about that execution, just closing them down, ensuring that you get that kill. Xiang with that play, but Musang King still up in front. That Sea of Fate right on out.
Yep. This could be a big marker of success for BSC, right? Timing that Sea of Fate with your aggression, making those extra damage onto the T1s, T2s, that's going to be an important marker. But let me break down this fight for you that really went quite badly for the side of Twisted Minds, right?
Yeah.
End of the day, that flash, I was quite surprised by it. You know, JR flashed it. I thought that was a bad mistake, but it's actually to push them closer towards Highland. And when you take out the Guardian Mo, there is no more big burst damage. No one else on the side of Twisted Minds can offer that.
How dare you question JR, right? I mean, the way he was going in, to be honest, I was questioning it too, but I'm not a pro player, but he flashed in, got the pick up, he understood exactly where Highland was, got that pick, plus you have that infinite fastness, you're going to get out of safe.
Yep, it's actually just creating space because one other member that can make a huge difference in the fights is Xiang and Musang King. And Xiang was at the perfect range there to be able to catch out Highland.
Yeah, and look, Xiang is always that scary guy. Once he finds you, and there are some squishy ones, Highland and Shanks, those are the main two targets. He gets on top of you, you're going to have a tough time. Oh, the Umbrella Hoppers, the Unending Sorrow mitigating most of this one, but it looks like they got more. They find Dion, but that's just the roam. Great start for Twisted Minds, at least in this team fight.
But there's no more escape. Right now, Xiang, he is going to be safe, but it opens up this 9-minute Tyrant, not the Shadow variant just yet. But with that Tyrant buff, the extra damage is going to allow them to push the aggression, which locks BSC closer to their side of the map.
I love the way Twisted Minds to play that one route, right? I mean, they were looking to take a single team fight. They were able to get that pick, turned it into a big neutral objective. Huge for them. That's going to be the last one before the Shadow Tyrant later.
Yes, and with 30 seconds to go, this could cost BSC quite a lot because the map is slowly crushing down onto BSC on all 3 lanes.
Yeah, I mean, 3.5k net worth lead. Twisted Minds literally taking the fight to BSC, taking over the map, making things uncomfortable. Yeah, you have the Musang King on his Ogrin, but man, he's not able to keep on pace with Clean.
So this is where offense is the best defense for the side of Twisted Minds, but it also opens up a gap, right? As you dive onto the side of BSC, one of the things is that Highland actually is going to be open, as well as Shank. So that could be the opening that BSC are looking for to get the counter attack, but it requires someone like Xiang or maybe even JR and Musang King to jump into the heart of Twisted Minds.
Scary, scary. I mean, jumping into this Twisted Minds lineup, I mean, you have so many different ways to keep them alive. They want a death ball. This is so tough, even for Musang King to get that vision onto the Tyrant.
Yep, and look at the positioning of 90. He wants to keep an eye on Xiang. He knows he's going to try and open up that the fight from the back.
Yeah, he's on. It looks like they're going to go. Xiong gets a point, and they find Shanks. They get the insta-pick, the infinite fastest. They're going to want to go aggressive. JR at Half-Life, not in a great spot, though. He gets picked off. Highland makes him pay for going aggressive, but he trades away his own life. It's a 2-for-1 thus far. The Azure Golem will be picked up by BSC.
It's a numbers advantage for BSC. I don't see how they're supposed to contest this. Clean does have his smite, but without the support of Shanks and Highland, there is not enough damage.
I love the decision and the way that they were just able to just go. BSC was like, we found that moment, we're able to catch them out, but JR, again, this infinite fastness, if you're using it aggressively, I think you're using it incorrectly.
I think it's still okay, but for now, look, Clean, I like this decision coming out from Twisted Minds. They know that they can't contest this, so why look at a lost cause? Let's just go straight for the trade. And they could potentially get more. They actually get the Azure Golem. This is going to be a heartbreak for the side of Musang King, but actually, I think he stole the Azure Golem as well.
Yeah, look, Twisted Minds will take whatever they can. I mean, the Shadow Vanguard will push in the bottom lane. Don't need to worry too much about that for now, but they've kind of grouped up at this point. Yes, this net worth lead, it shifted a little bit by that team fight. BSC trying to claw their way back in, but it's tough.
Yes, does it really matter? Because they will not take a fight on the side of Twisted Minds. They know you have the Tyrant buff. Now it's really just about taking the objective. The turrets, T3 is now at risk for the side of BSC.
Yeah, definitely at risk. Musang King still up in front, wants to deal with the minions, but with that wild growth, it's tough. Shanks has got those shields, the Flaming Palm on the Clean. They're going to limp away, but it looks like they're just going to regroup more than anything else. Knight now under attack. He's potentially looking to go. He's got that force field suppression. He's eating most of this. The Furball up and forward. He's going to be tanking, but Twisted Minds looking to disengage.
Yep, like I said, they won't want to entertain a fight. They have the timing of their own jungle, obviously. So now it's all about securing that Azure Golem for their team. And in fact, I think they might give it over to Highland. Damage dealt here, of course, Zhihong, I think, has found himself in very good positions. But that chart could switch anytime. But gold, also equally important, Shanks at the top, 8,000. This time it's his turn, 1,000 ahead of JR.
Yeah, I mean, he's got that edge. I mean, dying that one single time, yes, it was just a single death, but you cannot die. You need to constantly be farming, and you're falling behind. Shanks, not a great situation for BSE here.
Actually, for both teams, it's quite scary because Daybreaker onto the hands of Shanks, that pink color bow, and you also have the Starbreaker, the red color hammer on the side of JR's itemization. These are the armor penetration items, which means you can actually burst down heroes now from either farm laner.
Yeah, either farm laner, and that's kind of, I mean, the burst and just catching them out. BSE, if you're looking at that lineup, they got some squishier guys. Yeah, you have the sustain, but you could be potentially bursted before you get your ult off.
This is why Hailang is such an important member, and also why Twisted Minds have actually funneled that Azure Golem to the Garden Mole. Garden Mole, look, normally you have 3 stacks of your second and third skill, right? Of which, if you use your ultimate, it refreshes instantly with another 3 stacks. So that's 6 different times of blades flying down onto you, and JR does not survive that.
Yeah, no chance at that point. I mean, like, he doesn't want to use that infinite fastness, like, you know, just early, right? He wants to kind of hold it, and when they jump on him, he's able to stay alive. But Nighty looking for that target, not able to get the Storm Strike on. BSE dodge a bullet for now.
Okay, but JR, he's alone at the back, and if Nighty spots him, this is going to be bad. He does have his ultimate as force field suppression and flash as well.
Yeah, but BSE still up in front. Musan King taking a lot of damage. The Conductor of Souls, they're looking to turn this around, but Musan King gets back to safety, and Xiang looking for that play, and JR is now shown up, but he's running to Nighty, not the target that he really wanted. Shanks is a little bit low as his Hailang. Musan King gets bladed, and he gets sliced down. Hailang cuts him down to size.
The idea was there. JR wanted to get the flank so they could use the right to win the third skill that uses CC to push everyone into a bad position. But unfortunately, they could not find out Hailang to be able to assist in that manner. And when the Garden Mole
they're flashing forward. They're going to look to contest, and they go for this one. They do get the pick off. They find Shanks. That's a huge win. JR back to safety, and now Xiang all the way up in front. Nighty's going to be disengaging, but they've taken down Shanks, and that should just destroy the siege.
Okay, that's a good play, but they need to get rid of Hailang as well. BSE needs to get rid of this Garden Mole, or you don't win this fight.
Yeah, but Hailang and Shanks are doing so much damage. They're blood brothers. They do so much damage together, like Bash brothers. Like, how do you kill both at the same time?
Too late. I have the Whirlpool.
Yeah, no chance. The Whirlpool a little late. Clean getting gone on. He gets devastated. Clean is down. Nighty tries to dash away. He's going to be chased. Hailang just keeping him alive with those couple blades who are starting to hurt. And Nighty taking this out. It looks like BSE don't want any of that action.
They can't do much here. They cannot overcommit because Hailang does have his ultimate. He does have the Azure buff. Cooldown with, you know, so much mana regeneration. He can pick up almost any member on the side of BSE.
Yeah, now Musan King looking to be aggressive. BSE potentially going for that Overlord. They're going to be backing on out of this one. Twisted Minds understanding that, hey, this is a big objective. I don't want to give this up, but the bottom lane is pushing.
Okay, so that's some breathing space for the side of BSE. And Musan King, he's going to start working on this Shadow Overlord. Might not commit because they want 90.
He runs right into 90. Musan King still up in front. The Umbrella Outburst on Black, and they looks like Musan King with that Conductor of Souls barely staying alive. He was on the lower end. Hailang and Shanks do some serious damage, though.
They get the TP, Sea of Fate. They send him home. Musan King is safe for now, but this is something that Twisted Minds, they're ready for.
Yeah, ults have been committed, though. That's something to take note of. Clean still up in front, finding Jihong with that Unending Sorrow. He's going to be back to safety. Another big ult on cooldown. Xiang on the run. Nighty looking for this one. Gets the Storm Strike onto him, but he's going to just walk away.
Yep, they push him away, and look, BSE is under an immense amount of pressure. As a Twisted Mind fan, you must be happy. But BSE, there is still a decent chance they can come back. Just get rid of Hailang, get rid of Shanks.
Look, I don't think any of the team's fans right now are happy. I think they're more stressed out more than anything else because of how close this game is. Musan King still up in front. Twisted Minds might get flanked. They try to go for Xiang, but Musan King with that Conductor of Souls catches out a couple. Nighty is going to look to stay going, but Infinite Fastness, they find Xiang. That's a huge pickup. Infinite Fastness on back. He's going to look to go aggressive. Shanks is looking for him, but JR's in a bad spot. He's potentially going to go. Shanks is down for the count. That's going to be Sage's Sanctuary. He's going to look to turn. They still have a power play, though.
It's so hard because look, JR, it's very clear what he wants to do. He's consistently trying to find Highline, but because he can't, this allows room for Shanks to really come in. Look, he is now topping the damage chart. Him and Highline, the both of them close to 100,000 worth of hero damage. This is not good news for BSE at all.
It's so tough. Like, you kill one, the other one is there to clean up, right? So it's like they just need to stay slightly apart so that they can cover each other in case one of them gets jumped on.
Exactly, and this is what is why it's so difficult to play this game if you're in the hands of BSE as well. Now, to make matters even worse, Twisted Minds, they have gotten that Shadow Overlord. They have summoned it on the bottom lane. That clears the entire lane of minions, and it opens up the chance for them to take this T3. T3 mid already down. This is not good for BSE.
Not good at all. And if you're looking at Dion, he's just trying to provide that space in that top lane. Look at his split push. He could see a fade on back if they need to go, but it might be too late.
They want to make the trade, the far T movement. They want to force this T3. They want to force them back, but still, that attempt is not worth it. The T3 at the bottom has been secured by Twisted Mind.
Yeah, no chance. I mean, the idea was there to potentially go for that backdoor play with that Whirlpool, but to go through that one and the T3 with the Shadow Vanguard already at your pace, not enough time.
It just shows a disconnect in communication, right? Because look, I don't think it would have been the best idea to summon all 5 members over there. Even just putting Xiang up there, it reduces your counter-attack ability.
Yeah, and this is going to be the Shadow Tyrant here. BSE spotting this out. It's going to do a decent, it's going to take a lot of damage to take this one out. Musang King cannot give up yet another Shadow Tyrant here.
Yep, they need to find an opening. Highline is so far behind.
They find Clean. Gion goes in for this. The Unending Sorrow going to be expended. The Umbrella Outburst, but they find Shanks. That's the target they want. The Tyrant is back in his lair. They want Highline instead. They're looking to go. He's going to go golden, at least for now. He tries to flash, but he gets Seer stated. Musang King finds him. Nighty still fighting this 1 versus 4. He flashes under the tower. He will stay alive. Siang is still there. He's going to see a fade on back, and BSE might have done it with 2-0 in that kill.
Okay, so this is a start of a comeback, but for now, the map is not working in their favor. This is a silver lining for them, a consolation prize. JR does get that Shadow Tyrant for the team, but let's talk about that fight, right? Highline getting caught out and Shanks dying so early in the fights was a big problem for the side of Twisted Minds.
I mean, he got them both out, right? Damage dealer A, damage dealer B. Like, those are the main ones that you wanted to have done, and they won the team fight because of that. That was huge for BSC, but their base kind of wide open. That T3 is literally being, like, strung together by string.
Yep, and Shanks previously in that fight, one of the reasons why he died was because he didn't have the ability to activate his Blood Rage. He actually sold that item now, changed it into the Succubus Cloak, so that he has a little bit more magic defense. Because look, Zihong is following close in the damage chart. You cannot ignore this if you want.
Yeah, look at this. Tempest Dragon up in about 5 seconds. Twisted Mind still, though, with that T1. It's going to make it tough for BSE to make the siege because, again, the back door is potentially open.
Well, they could if they can find the back lines.
Yeah, I mean, if they could, they'll go. But they find Busan King. He's looking to go. The Conductor of Souls onto about 4 or so. But here comes Xiang. He's looking for that flank to push away. Clean, still alive. Nighty, not as lucky. That's going to be Sage's Sanctuary. Twisted Minds need to figure out a way to get him. And they find JR. He gets that pickoff, so he trades his life away.
This is a horrible situation for the side of BSC. Yes, they might be able to delay this Tempest Dragon take, but Twisted Minds don't care. The map is in their favor. They have 2 lanes of Mega Minions and Super Minions marching down.
Yeah, I don't think that this is the right time for Twisted Minds to go for the Tempest Dragon, but again, you were talking about the lanes pushing less space for BSC. It's going to be tough for them to hold, especially the longer this goes. Twisted Minds looking to start it.
Yes, and look at the impressive damage taken. 90 and Clean doing so much work for the team, opening up so that Highline and Shanks can really lay the damage in.
Oh man, Musang King still around, sticking this out. They find it. Shanks, he's in a bad spot. He does get to safety. He gets back in the lair, and the Unbridled Offer is now going to be used. Sage's Sanctuary keeping him alive, at least for now, but Shanks is down. They find CT Boy Clean and Highline on the run. BSE with an opening to the Tempest Dragon.
Why did they commit? But nonetheless, BSC, this is the start of what may be a beautiful ending to game number 2. They secure the Tempest Dragon. They provide so much space for themselves.
Not smart for Twisted Minds to go for that one. There was no reason to go attempt that Tempest Dragon. They were in a bad spot. They paid with their lives. Now BSC have a chance to come back.
Yes, and this is a beautiful chance for the side of BSC. Number 1, Xiang. He takes away the Crimson Golem, takes away the Sprite as well, so vision is obscured for the side of Twisted Minds. And finally, they can start working on these T3s on the bottom and the top.
And this is why, I mean, Twisted Minds, you were trying to go greedy. You thought you had that advantage, but with 90 down, probably not the greatest time to go. And now BSE looking to siege, clean at half-life. This T3 mid is looking to go down. Musan King just providing all the vision in the world.
Yes, and Xiang, I think he is hitting that mega power spike here. The damage he's dealing with the Shanks is insane.
2 T3s taken down. Musan King, look at the die. They get the Conductor of Soul. Shanks has already been killed. It's a huge win for them. CT Boy just trying to outtake that. He gets seer stated as well. And BSE coming back, and they will win game 2.
A perfect comeback. BSE, they were struggling the entire game. There is no way to say that story about BSE. That is why you do not count them out.
You can't count them out, but you also can't make mistakes like that. They had a winning opportunity. The positioning was there. That was perfect for Twisted Minds. They had the opportunity, but unfortunately, just one too many mistakes.
I'm so curious, what would make you think that taking the Tempest Dragon there was a good idea? If you had just let nature take its course, right, you would have advantage in the mid lane, in the bottom lane. I think they were a little bit too impatient.
Impatient, and this is the problem, right? Like like having that situation, and your nerves are there. You're thinking that, hey, no JR, I got an opportunity for this. You're trying to take it, but the call man was just not right.
Yes, they couldn't protect the win condition. And that was Hailang and Shanks. You need these two members to stay alive. And BSE, they were really clear about it. The moment they saw the opening for Shanks and Hailang, they were going in. No flash, great. This is the time that punished them.
Yeah, and look, they made them pay, right? They were finding out who's like Hailang and Shanks were always doing that damage, and BSE were like adjusting on the fly. And this is a moment where Twisted Minds really put the pressure on. There were like no T3s, they had no space, and just being able to kind of barely get it alive just by killing Shanks in that one fight.
Exactly, and also this highlights the pick of the Ogren. Why Musan King is so good is because Ogren is kind of like a cheat sheet. You don't exactly have to kill them, you just lower them down to less than 10%.
Yeah, and let your seer state kind of work it out, right? I mean, there were moments where you're like, even this is that fight, right? The Tempest Dragon going in, a terrible situation to be in, losing Shanks there and CT Boy in the lair, taking the Tempest Dragon for BSE, and they just completely shifted this game.
Exactly. They could have reset the situation. I'm really curious what was going on their minds at that point.
I mean, I think it's just more of like a green light. We got to go. We got to potentially end this game. We have him on the ropes. We have it. And then it's just like one too many like misses. And he just like, BSE just struck back.
Yeah, it felt like they were kind of desperate, you know. It was not a decision I agree with. But for BSE fans, they must be elated at this.
No, they gotta be elated. They're back in the game. They're 1-1. It is amazing for them. But the problem in here is when you analyze the way that BSE played the game, it just seems to be like Twisted Minds is always in control and BSE is just fighting their way back.
I mean, it's not a great situation to be in all the time. Obviously, you don't want to be in the losing side. But this is one where it just shows you the championship resilience of this team from BSE. Of the never say die, we're not out of it. We have ways. We know that they'll make a mistake, and Twisted Minds made a major blunder, and they made them pay.
What do you think puts them always in that position, that they need to kind of like come back, that they're not the ones actually just controlling the game since the beginning, Kim?
I think for BSE really is, hey, you need to take more control of the jungle. As an Ogren, you have your sheer state, that 10% insta-kill, you need to make full use of that. But of course, with that being said, I think Twisted Minds knew exactly how Ogren operates. And the entrance to the jungle, either top or bottom, was always closed off. Even when Dien, with this Star Chow pick, who is meant to kind of avert the risk for Musan King, they still couldn't do it.
Yeah, and for me on this one, I feel like Twisted Minds just understand how to play strategically, right? And not just like playing that early game and just kind of like the slow, like it choke you out type of play style. And it really kind of gets into BSE because they have to play defensive, they have to play reactive, and they have to catch back up in the game.
I know that from a fan point of view, like we like fights, we like fighting, and we like throwing punches, getting the kills and everything. But from a professional point of view, which of these two strategies do you believe is going to fit better? Because Twisted Minds that is just playing to a little bit more of the commanding, kind of controlling the game, seems to be doing a better job.
I think you definitely need to control the map much more in the early parts of the game. And as you transition into what may be a late game, I think the decision here by Twisted Minds was not a very good one because Shanks actually burnt out the 2 charges of his Sage's Sanctuary. For our new players, you have a item in your defense inventory called the Sage's Sanctuary. This gives you an extra life, but you can only use it twice in the game. And Shanks burned through those 2 usages pretty early on, and he was left with no option. Expanded the flash, changed his items into the Succubus Cloak, which is meant to give you that magical defense. Still nothing there.
I mean, it's more about positioning more than anything else. I mean, it's hard because the BSE knew who needed to die, and they were trying to prioritize. They were jumping on top of him, making his life very difficult. It was not great and not an easy game for Shanks to kind of really get going. I mean, there was a moment where there was like that onslaught, but once BSE was like, hey, let's turn it on. Let's find these guys. Let's kill them.
And it was about positioning, right? Like the positioning from Shanks was very limited because Xiang was always trying to find the flank, always trying to come in from behind, trying to always push them into a corner. And that's the reason why he's going to take the MVP.
He was very good this game. The positioning on Xiang. And as you go late game, this is one of the serious problems you face against Fatih. He has a lot of burst damage. He took Shanks down in, I think, 4 slashes. Like, half his health was gone. And that's like, what? 1 second, 1.5 seconds. So it's a very scary pick coming out from Xiang.
Yeah, very scary pick and well-deserved. I mean, proving that, hey, KDA doesn't really matter, considering Musan King was like 9-1 in like 2 or whatever, right? Of course. But Xiang set it up. I mean, you're talking about pace and tone and all these things, but Xiang was always on the back line, understanding who needed to die, and it was, of course, around Hailong and Shanks.
Who needed to die? Like, the decision in there was very difficult because from Twisted Minds, they had the 2 damage dealers. They had Shanks on that DRNG, and then had Highland on that Ganon Mo. Who do you take first? We were always discussing about this. Who do we take first? If you take one, the other one's still going to be alive. What do we do? And seems like just kind of like cornering them and forcing the mistake was the right answer for that.
There's many ways to play this, right? So, I mean, as a professional team, you're looking at the options you have. Do you want to melt down the tank so you have free access into the backlines? Or do you just want to take out the backline where Hailong and Shanks are the main damage dealers, and once they're down, they don't have damage to fight, right, on the side of Twisted Minds. But likewise, on the other side, you know what? I think Twisted Minds shouldn't fight at all. And if you really have to pick off someone, take Dian away. Because he was a save condition. He was using the Sea of Fate to TP, save everyone, send them back home, and they come back full health with the Eye of the Whirlpool, and you're done for. It becomes a 6v5.
I do remember at the beginning of the game, actually in the mid-game, there were a couple times that Dacia was not part of the composition, and the Twisted Minds just pushed really deep into the lanes of BSE.
Yeah, I mean, just keeping them alive. I mean, that was the whole power of the Dacia, of just being able to get away when you needed to. You can play a little bit more risky, and your positioning could be a little bit RE at times. But this is a situation where, again, there was just a really good draft and understanding the playstyles and the limits of the heroes to have your hands have a chance of success.
And this is what is so scary about both these teams, where as we reach that final game of the series, Twisted Minds and BSE have one of the deepest hero pools in the competition of KWC. So we're going to see a lot more picks coming out.
Well, right now that all those top heroes have already been picked, they won't be able to show up again in this game 3. That is going to define who is going to move forward and who is going to be sent back home.
Which is the saddest part about all of this, right? I mean, I think BSE was like, hey, never say die, even on this one. We're not going home after this one. And we got one last opportunity. This is what everyone was dreaming about, getting into that game 3.
They were dreaming about that trophy right over there in the middle of your screens. That trophy really puts your hopes up there. Everybody wants to put a hand on top of it.
So right now, I think both teams really need to reconsider, okay, what is the win condition for this game, right? As you take a look at the series between BSE and Twisted Minds, it will be evidently clear to you that you need to understand what your win conditions are. That's great. But you also need to know what your lose conditions are. And I think Twisted Minds, for game number 2, didn't know it.
Unfortunately for them. I mean, look, I think that's... They're going to really have to dive deep into the replay on that one, right? I think that it's, for now, going into game 3, forgetting about it and moving on is going to be probably best for their psyche. They want to stay motivated. They want to ensure that, hey, this is a chance that we had. We had Black Shrew Esports on the ropes. We just got a little greedy. We need to play a little bit more patiently, and we can close the series out.
And let's take a look at what's open for both teams, right? Now there's the combination of Lady Sun and Ming as well. This is a stock standard combination they could explore. We also have like the Dolia refresh with multiple different heroes available on the side of BSE and Twisted Minds. And both teams benefit from this playstyle because they know how to do it.
Yeah, I mean, the world is your oyster in that sense, but Twisted Minds going fast and furious. They're going to go with the pay. I like this pick. It's 9-3 thus far. It has a 75% win rate. Just a great overall hero that really sets the pace of the game.
I mean, but they've already expanded the Byron, which is a stock standard combination with the pay, right? So they need to look for a replacement to be able to put that power spike in that level 1 rush if they really want to get the kill in the clash lane.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's not the be-all, end-all, and there's a reason why, like, you can pick twice in, your combinations, but it looks like Princess Frost and Liang for Black Shrew Esports, this is a combination that we know tried and true. It can lock down this pay, especially with that winner is here on top of it.
Yes, so positioning is going to be very important for BSE in this game. So how this combination works is that the Liang is supposed to stun the opponents, and then Princess Frost will use a second skill to get the freeze, and then you have the full combination of either Liang's ultimate or paired up with the Princess Frost ultimate. And it's really hard to cancel this combination. But here's one of the solutions you can explore, which is what Twisted Minds has shown us, the Lianpo and Liu Bang.
Yeah, and that will, of course, the Liu Bang with the Battlefield Command right on top. You can shield and basically just teleport to that teammate. And then you have Liang Po with all of his arsenal of stuns, just really able to just like lock Liang down because he's such a static hero. But Black Shrew Esports going with the Jing.
This is a matchup that we have seen, right? So if you want to go for burst damage, this is a comparison of number 1, positioning, and number 2, amount of burst damage. So farm is going to be extremely important for both these assassin-style junglers.
Yeah, look, they want to let Musang King just fly, right? I think Jing is definitely one of his heroes that he really likes to kind of, bring out to the gorge as much as possible. But going up against the pay, which he knows that he's going to be fighting for farm every which corner.
You know what? In this game, I would really like the Consort Yu on the side of Twisted Minds. Likewise, for the side of Black Shrew Esports, I think they need someone who is mobile. You could consider the Fang. You can burst down a pay in a very quick take. You can also complement the Jing pick. Jing pick is also known as a hero that is able to split push really fast. She can traverse the gorge at lightning speed. Fang complements this because she is able to take turrets, or he is able to take turrets lightning fast as well.
All right, I'm just going to say no to the Consort Yui thing. I just, like, not a big fan of this hero, only because Blam mains it.
Okay. I'm sorry, Blam. Some love for you today on the broadcast.
But they're going to go with the Marco Polo, Black Shrew Esports, picking that up. That does a decent amount of damage. You're going to have a great time with this one, especially since the other farm laners, like the Arlie and the Loong, I mean, they've already played it, but they have a lot of heroes that have been taken away already.
I love the fact that BSE take out the Yixing. Yixing is a perfect combination to pair with the Twisted Minds lineup, especially when the Lianpo and Liu Bang comes in with their combination, because Lianpo can just charge in the backlines. Liu Bang comes in, gets the stun and the burst from his first skill, that shield. It's a really insane story because you don't want to be stunned up. BSE, one of the weaknesses is actually control.
Yeah, I mean, look, Twisted Minds also, I mean, you have the Lianpo who has, again, quite a bit of stuns in his arsenal, but it's going to be tough to kind of really lock down this Jing. You're not going to have a great time, but it looks like they're going to go to the Kin playbook, and they're going to pick up the Consort Yui.
Do you know why you pick up the Consort Yui here? Look, Jing is going to have an access to your MM, regardless whether you want to stop her or not. So it's better. Consort Yui is a special hero where she has a physical immunity with her second skill. It's called the Protecting Winds. And when you activate that skill, you are physically immune for, I think, 1 or 2 seconds.
You're going to have, I mean, you just need to stay alive more than anything else. But the Miyu is the last pick. Walk me through this one, Kin.
Okay, Miyu is one of those clash laners, which is a monster in the 1v1s. You rarely win against a Miyu, especially when she has her ult, because not only can she heal up, if her ulti touches you, she gets extra damage on you as well.
Yeah, a lot of damage. Plus, it makes it super annoying in the clash lane. Usually we'll win out because of the range versus melee combination that you have, and going into this lineup. But look, going in and checking out the rest of this lineup, very glass cannon. You have that potential. Yes, you have the Miyu in that way, but that's pretty much it. Like, who's going to be up front other than the Jing making those plays? Look at this lineup, Kin. Tell me your thoughts.
It's a burst composition lineup. They will play the map very well. So on the side of BSE, the win condition here is if they can take that T1 in the mid, they have to make full use of vision control. That's the only way. If Twist does not know where the punch is coming from, they will lose this fight because they have a lot of big burst control in the form of Liang and Princess Frost, that combination. They also have the damage over time from the Miyue. And while everyone is distracted trying to handle the Jing, the Miyue, the Princess Frost, and the Liang, the Marco J.R., known for his farming ability, is going to be very strong.
Yeah, this is going to be...
One game, one gorge, no excuses. Holler can take it from here. Whoever that wins moves forward, and the loser gets home.
Thank you so much, Isaac. As we go into the elimination game, one of these teams, I mean, look, BSE, Twisted Minds, I don't want either of these teams to go home, but unfortunately, we are where we are. But who are you giving the edge to in this draft?
I definitely prefer BSE's draft. We have seen the potential of the Princess Frost and Liang combination, but they need clean positioning and vision control.
They're doing a decent amount of damage onto Dion already, but CT Boy just being that nuisance, but clean, looking to go for that steal.
Yep, that's a big moment here. If he gets it, that's big. So he does get that Crimson Golem. Now the team on the side of Twisted Minds needs to protect their buff, which is exactly what Hailang is doing.
I mean, Musang King, if anything, he needs to ensure that he gets the blue buff. That's like the de facto one that he needs. He needs to ensure that he constantly has that to help his farm accelerate.
Oh, that was a nice slick movement there by Shanks. Look, if you can take the dew under the tower, but if you are attacked during that duration, you actually cancel out the healing factor.
Okay. I mean, understanding the limits of this hero here, but look at BSE, both have to flash away. Twisted Minds looking for that potential gank, not able to find it though.
City Boy, that flash, was it really necessary?
I don't really know. I mean, you're threatening, and if anything, you want them to be uncomfortable, right? JR, like, again, if he's free farming, he's going to get all that, you know, just all that damage, and you're going to have a tough time.
True, but end of the day, if you're going to commit such an important common spell such as the flash, you want to force it out of the opponents as well.
It's still not even 2 minutes in the game. Why are you being like an Asian dad? Let the man go.
Because I am an Asian dad.
I know. But looks like they're going to go with this Battlefield Command right on top. Musang King with a Mirror Domain in return, but they find Jiong. Highline gets the snipe in. Clean a little bit on the lower end. Nighty has to flash away as well. Musang King not able to get anything in return.
And this is the risk that they took with this draft for BSC. Their glass cannons. It's pretty easy to melt them down. And you will not be able to survive, especially if Twisted Minds has an advantage in the goal, which means better items, faster items.
And that's scary, right? I mean, if in an elimination game, backs on the wall, you're going in with this like high-flying lineup that has some weaknesses. If they're able to outlast you and you're going up against a clean pay, this is kind of scary if I'm a BSE fan.
Okay, so at the same time, there is one particular thing you need to pay attention to, which is Liang. The Liang combination. First skill, you actually get the barrier down. No, the passive. So the passive for Liang, actually, if you can land a normal hit basic attack or a skill within 2 hits within 1.5 seconds, you actually get true damage added into your damage potential.
Yeah, but Dion right now, level 4, that flash control, locking somebody down was potentially there if they want to go for it. That would do some serious damage, and that would guarantee them a kill. And I think that Dion wants to do that as much as possible because, again, BSE being down, not great in the early game.
But this is where City Boy is going to shine, right? As the Lianpo, he's going to be able to kind of stop those movements coming in because, yes, Liang's ultimate is great, but the moment he gets stunned up, it's cancelled.
Yeah, I mean, look, and that's why Twisted Minds, it really comes back to them of playing this out. If somebody gets up front and he's a little bit baited, you have that Battlefield Command to potentially save that guy.
We've seen that combination just now in the first part of the game. Wasn't really successful because Musang King actually managed to escape that. They got that first blood off of Zhihong, which is not a bad thing. Zhihong on this Princess Frost and Dian on this Liang. It's a very cost-efficient draft. They don't need gold. They just need to be able to set the team fight up.
Yeah, and basically Musang King and JR needs to be funneled that gold. They're the ones that are going to carry you in the end. JR, again, with this Marco Polo, it takes a little bit of time to kind of get online. I mean, he needs those items to really do what he wants in that late game.
Yeah, but once he gets online, I think it's a tough time for the side of Twisted Minds.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, that's what they're aiming to do. But Twisted Minds not letting anything go. They're going to give up this Tyrant here. But again, Clean has done a pretty good job of invading thus far.
Okay, we talked about this in game number 2, right? Which is Musang King, and he needs to control his jungle. And this game, on his Jing, he has controlled the rotations, the pacing, the timings extremely well.
Yeah, and they're not giving any sort of space for Clean to do that jungle invade. Because again, it's all about that blue buff. Yes, he previously gave up the red, but now now Xiang in a bad spot. They have that control, and it was a bit of a bait, and they find 90, and they get the kill.
Beautiful bait, and Xiang benefits off of this. He takes a T1, and now this is going to allow him to have a level advantage, one level ahead of 90, and 90 is not going to have a good time.
Not a good time, but he didn't expect there to be two other brothers from BSC waiting in the wings, looking for that control. And we're talking about the fact that, hey, Dion needs to be making as many plays across the map as much as possible. That's a great start for them.
Yes, and BSC, like you noticed, they will not take too many fights, right? It's all about the map, and because of their splendid performance, they are now ahead by 1,000 gold.
Yeah, a good start for them, and BSC need to get going. They do not want to fall behind. Clean looking to go for that steal. The burst ram, no, the Fever Barrage will keep JR alive.
Yeah, City Boy, I feel like he's struggling to find his pace in this game, and Musang King looking for the punish.
Oh, the Battlefield Command right on top. They find the punish in Ji Hong, but here's the Mirror Man from Musang King, who actually walks into that flowing ocean of tears. Good God.
Yeah, a very tough situation to find themselves in, but Twisted Minds, they're making it work for themselves. They actually trade out the T1 at the bottom in time to come, right? So Shanks gets it, so they have equal turret takes. Yes, it's one tower apiece. The only deficit for the side of Twisted Minds now is that they don't really have access into the jungle of BSC.
Yeah, and taking that tower, though, is actually going to be huge for Twisted Minds, all right? Again, they like to play when they have that lead, and taking any of those towers is going to create more space, making things uncomfortable for BSC, because, again, they're not really tanky enough to kind of push themselves out of that.
Yeah, they can't. And right now, Xiang's in a great position. He's actually able to force City Boy back into unfavorable positions, and City Boy cannot allow that to happen. He needs to be in the heart of BSC.
Yeah, and that's kind of where they want to be. But JR being aggressive. Here's the Battlefield Command on the clean. They find JR. They get the pick off. They make him pay for going slightly aggressive.
So this combination, multifaceted. You can jump on the City Boy with your ultimate H90, but you can also jump on Clean, and he's one of the most mobile heroes in the game. He's a tiger, for goodness sake, and you will not be out of his reach.
Yeah, so great. Getting that pick off, and then again, turning that into objectives. They're putting the pressure on this bottom T2. BSC not able to kind of deal with that one, but they take the top T2 themselves.
Yeah, so that's a good trade, right? So look, both teams playing the map, and this is very important because you, like I said, both teams thrive on vision control. If you have the information, you can make very smart plays.
And if we're looking at this one, I mean, yes, if BSC were to take the advantage and where they were able to siege, Twisted Minds actually have a decent amount of wave clear. It's not going to be easy to get into the high ground.
Yes, it's not. So for now, okay, Twisted Minds screen, he's at the top of the gold chart, but it's not that big of a detriment because Musang King is following closely behind.
Yeah, falling behind, and that's not where you ever want to see your Jing here. And Musang King, just more space, more time, but BSC finding difficulty in trying to get him that farm. And look at how they're just like all funneling around, ensuring that he gets this.
Okay, it's just for the moment because the moment JR gets his frigid charge, that armor, that blue armor, he will have an increase, a huge increase in attack prowess. He's actually going to be able to find the backlines of Twisted Minds.
And look at how annoying Xiang has been. Just come pushing him out. Nighty, he teleported. They can't defend. Xiang taking what he can. He took out all of the towers in the top from the T2 on, and then he's also taking the bottom T1. Xiang has been making some good moves, though.
They need to make this trade.
Oh, they find Xiang. He's going to actually get out of this one with that Umbral Moon. He gets the safety. He's going to get sliced down. Nighty finds him out, gets that pick off. Twisted Minds making him pay. Now this mid T1 under siege.
Yeah, this is restraint for the side of Twisted Minds. They knew exactly, look, the moment you burn that Umbral Moon, if you're still within range of your opponents, you are dead.
Yeah, no chance at that point. He's down for about 10 seconds. That's on me. I complimented Xiang, and that's why he was focused there.
Unfortunate for them. But BSC, they do get a consolation prize in the form of the Overlord, not the Shadow version just yet. So it would just turn the minions into Vanguards for now.
Yeah, and I mean, you're going to take whatever you can get. I mean, that was space created in that regard. Twisted Minds taking that Tyrant, probably a little bit more important. But we're almost at that Shadow variant timing of 10 minutes. Twisted Minds, again, like, they're a little bit ahead, but has this been enough? They got to control the Battlefield Command. It is not enough, and Shanks gets picked off.
This is why you pick up the Liang, right? You have the suppression, and more importantly, yes, we talked about the consort. She has physical immunity, but not magic immunity.
Just way too much damage there. That came from all fronts. Shanks just got insta-gibbed on that one. But when you have, like, what, 4 or 5 members of BSC right there, ensuring that they get that kill, really smart play by them.
Yes, they made sure they got the kill. They committed 4 different ultimates developers for that play itself. So right now, we're neck and neck in terms of gold. But this game is not about the gold. This game is about the map. And for now, it is in favor of BSC because a Vanguard actually naturally clears off one wave of minions.
Yeah, look, I think it's great for BSC to be there, but with this advantage, they will fall off at a certain point. Twisted Minds will hit that part where they hit that critical mass. They're too tanky and BSC can't do anything. So if anything, there's a timer on BSC.
True. It also comes down to that second skill of Zihong, right? The Frigid Prison. Because Frigid Prison, if you land it on someone, you actually get extra damage when they're frozen.
Yeah, and look, this Shadow Tyrant here, first one to be spawning of this game. JR just looking to just push them away more than anything else, as well as the Oak Bowl. The Tyrant has been pushed out for now. The winners here has been expended. The Battlefield Command, they find him, and they find Dion. They want to go for this, but the control, they've already gotten Ji-Hong, but he's going to trade away his life from CT Boy. Musan King looking to go in, doing a little slicing and dicing, but he gets low.
This is a perfect situation for Twisted Minds. Look, giving away CT Boy, that's his job. He's meant to be the tank. And yes, roam lives matter, but for this one, you have to give your life for the cause.
Yeah, actually, CT Boy, that's a well-deserved sacrifice. Going in, making sure that they got Ji-Hong, that's going to change things up. Now they take the first Shadow Tyrant. Great play by Twisted Minds.
So does that give him the triple S marker?
I don't think so. I don't think so. It's just one. I mean, it's still too early, let's be honest, right? But it was a great play, and I think it's a good setup for him. But CT Boy going all in for that, ensuring that the team gets the kill. Finding Ji-Hong, again, it's about that utility and those AoEs. You got to just take him out so that you kind of create more space for your team.
Yes, it's really about setting out the team fights, right? So if I could make a request, right? I know I sacrifice myself for the team a lot of times in ranked games. Maybe you can add that as a marker for me to get SSS.
No, no, no. Every time you die, you sacrifice yourself. I will create a tombstone of where you died. But most times, it's so far away that I can't even do that.
Okay.
Boom.
But I'm always looking at the map. I'm helping the team. And that's exactly what needs to be done for both sides, right? Critical vision information is so important for both
Definitely
sides.
important here. But this Crimson Golem going to be contested here. It looks like Clean has picked that one up. And even in pressure on the top lane, taking that away from BSC. Even more farm going the way of Twisted Minds.
Okay, so a lot of people are asking, why do you take this Shadow Tyrant in the first place? Now, take a look at the situation. BSC cannot go for the Shadow Overlord because there is fighting prowess on the side of Twisted Minds.
Yeah, I mean, look, it would be tough, but that buff, that debuff that's on them, that Primal Bond is going to be a little bit of an issue. Twisted Minds just waiting it out. They can play a little bit patiently. They don't have anything to do. They're definitely in the driver's seat, and they can go and make things uncomfortable for BSC here.
Yes, and City Boy, his job now is very simple, right? Take a look at the members of BSC, where's their positioning, and then go for the ulti.
Yeah, JR looking to potentially go. The burst ram is on point with that Battlefield Command. He slams, dunks it, but JR has already been killed. CT Boy, he's locked in. He doesn't really care. They find Musan King. It's a 2-for-1 in favor of Twisted Minds.
The King has been taken down, and the kingdom might crumble at this point. Twisted Minds, they have an opening. Look, the map is all in their favor. 3 lanes all pushing in at the same time.
The second place team from MKL trying to stay alive. This is an elimination game. Lower bracket finals for them. Twisted Minds putting the siege on this top T3.
Okay, so they shouldn't be able to end the game just yet, but it should be a better base on the side of BSE. There's 5 seconds before they have JR and Musan King coming back into the game.
I mean, that was so smart. Twisted Minds taking everything. The minions waves had crashed all at the same time. They take everything out of your base and they walk away.
Yep, they don't lose anything. And right now, Crimson Golem for the taking on the side of Clean. And here's the worst part in this position for BSE. They won the last game because of the Tempest Dragon. They're 7 minutes away. How do you hold for 7 minutes?
Well, thoughts and prayers to start with, but hey, break down this replay.
Yep, this one was a split fight, a very good decision. This is why the combination of 90 as well as the roam coming in from City Boy is so important. And you talked about this just now. The later the game goes, 90 and City Boy, they're so tanky. You cannot burst them down.
How are you going to deal with them? And this is the deficit of this draft. Yes, I mean, I understand the concept if you're able to play against teams that you can maybe steamroll, but going up against Twisted Minds, when you see the pain, you see the pace, everything is going to change where you have to play defensively. Not a great game for BSC right now.
And to make this point, look, damage dealt highest by Clean. This tells you one thing. BSC is having to focus on their defense right now. He's already at 14,000 gold. He is 6 slotted. Pure Sky already in his hands.
Clean, literally trying to carry this game on this pay. I mean, he's 3-0-3. He's had such an impact. It's been so difficult for Musang King to get going. I mean, he is a great Jing player himself, but he hasn't been able to find his footing in this game.
Okay, you can hear the comms. They are looking for an opening.
Oh, they're looking to go. The Battlefield Command, CT Boy not able to do it. It was all for nothing, but alts were committed, but they pushed them away. They've taken the Tyrants.
That's a nice save idea. It was actually the barrier, his second skill on the Liang that was made available to stop that jump coming in from City Boy.
Yeah, and now Twisted Minds just regrouping. They're like, hey, actually, we're fine. Let's fix our mistakes from game 2. We were impatient. We kind of went a little more aggressive than we should have. Now we're going to slow siege. We're going to try to end the game here.
Yep, do the signs. Howling Wind committed by BSC.
Oh, the control. They've got CT Boy. Not the greatest one. They find him, but Xiang has the Umbral Moon. He tries to get back, but Musang King, he gets sniped out. Now JR just trying to stay alive. He gets picked off as well. 2 huge members. Clean looking to go. Look at the dive. Nighty's still under the tower. He makes him pay. He's a little too dangerous, and with no minions, it looks like Twisted Minds are going to hold off, at least for now.
Oh, they're so lucky on the side of BSC. That is 30 seconds without JR and Musang King, the main damage dealers. They still have the combination of Zhihong and Dian, but what can they do against 4 members? They're a bit low, so.
They are low. That is a potential opportunity. Xiang looking to go for this one, just trying to stay alive. Tries to go for the Umbral Moon play and get on top of Shanks. He's trying to get him, but they've gotten the pickup on the Xiang, and they get the crystal, and Twisted Minds will move on.
This is a big marker of success for the side of Twisted Minds. You can hear the screams of happiness and elation. Twisted Minds, did we expect this today? Yes, I did. Sagi, I told you so.
Yeah, I mean, sorry, it sucks to be Sagi in this one. It's a tough one to take on this. But, I mean, Twisted Minds, in all 3 games, they were definitely winning. They should have won that game too. They made some mistakes. But going into this one, you're kind of seeing that momentum. They're starting to build it, and they're starting to believe.
Okay, so let's wind down and talk about the different pain points that BSC experienced in this game.